Hello everyone, it's Amanda here. If you are new to my channel, a big warm welcome to you and thanks for joining me. Just as a reminder, please smash the notification button downstairs, subscribe, and please comment and maybe make future suggestions on what you'd love to hear on this channel with regards to relationships, because that's basically my focus and the vision and the goal for this page. If you are an existing subscriber, welcome back home and thank you for joining me once again. Your support is highly appreciated, and just so you know, every Sunday I post new content so we can sit down, have a chat and enjoy this interactive chat. So I really look forward to your comments and suggestions every Sunday, and I hope we can keep this going and just make it fun for all of us. So if you read down below, you'll know that today I'm talking about friendships. It is a term or a relationship type that is highly overlooked, because I think that a lot of us take it for granted and we kind of just have this thing that it rolls over organically on its own. But as it is with every relationship type, I do believe that work is required to maintain healthy, long-term and long-lasting friendships. So, in a world where we are obviously and blatantly, outrightly suffering from, loneliness, an epidemic of loneliness actually, we find that we know so many people, but in knowing so many people, we know less and less and are filled with so much uncertainty on who to confide in. Who do you know that is that go-to person that you could always go to if the pawpaw hit the fan in your life? Or if you are faced with a dire situation, when you pick up that call, do you know of that one person that you would just call and you know without a shadow of a doubt that they would be at your beck and call? Social media is growing every single day. Social networks are growing every single day, but so is our doubt growing on who to actually keep within our circle of trust. Why is this the case? Do we think that in the modern day people are so eager for friendships because they lacking that social interaction, or it's more of an intimacy, it's a lack of an intimacy that they need? Because look around you. You go to a restaurant, you see a couple, you see a family, sitting at a restaurant, having a beautiful lunch, a meal, sharing a beautiful meal, say, be it lunch, be it dinner, but both of them are just sitting on their phones, going away, chatting away, chatting away. That intimacy has been eliminated, and you wonder why so many relationships are just breaking down day by day, and people are finding it harder and harder to actually get back to each other, to actually interact, on a personal and intimate level. I had a very interesting conversation with an old acquaintance of mine. Well, at least that's the way that I choose to view it. I'll tell you why in a bit. So in any event, I'm in Richards Bay now, and she is now currently in Cape Town. So we hooked up on social media. Thank God for social media. And, we're just catching up. How you doing? How's life been? How's things? How's the family? Etc., etc. And it got to a point where we reached the climax of the conversation, and it was, we're saying our goodbyes. And, she had to go there. She said, well, don't be a stranger, and you need to come and visit, etc., etc. And, I laughed it off. After the conversation, I went into my thinking capsule, naturally. And then I was thinking to myself, why do we do that? Why do people always feel the need to say things that they don't mean? Why should we keep up with something that we know that is not aligned to our purpose in our lives? Because people at a certain time, a reason and a season, and then you guys go apart, and that's perfectly normal. You go apart because your life's purpose is not aligned or linked to one another. So you meet other people that you align with, and so on and so forth. Because just because we played hopscotch together in primary school does not really qualify us as friends, or does it? Tell me of friends and people that you knew from when you were a kid, and you are still actually very tight and close-knit with, and share with me the strategies that you used, or what it is that still binds and ties you guys together. Because I can tell you now, 99.999% of the time, it is because you have put in the work. You cannot expect to reap a reward of something you haven't deposited anything in. I personally believe that for any relationship type to work, be it professional, be it personal, be it romantic, you have to put in the work to make it work. You know, for me, I got two things that really work for me, or that I truly, truly believe in when it comes to relationships of any sort. First of all, consistency. For me, as tops, we need to be consistent. If you are going to call yourself a friend, and if you are going to actually maintain healthy relationships in your lifespan, doesn't matter what relationships are, you need to be consistent. You know, call up on those people, find out how they're doing. Make time, put time aside to go and meet, to interact, etc., etc. But in this growing, in this age that we live in, where we are working 2-3 jobs at a time to try and maintain the kind of lifestyles that we are currently living, do we have the time to actually deposit and actually spare for friendships? Because you know, they say that you choose your family, but you choose your friends, but not your family. So friends are people that you've chosen to actually invest in. So when you start investing in those friendships, do you ever stand back to ask yourself, me being so highly invested in this kind of friendship, bear in mind, key word, it's people that you have chosen to be in your circle. Is there a way, or do they make you grow? Are you making them grow? Are your purposes aligned to each other? Is there a bigger picture of why you're even investing in that friendship? The reasons behind investing in a friendship. I personally don't believe friendships are just about sitting, having a drink, and gossiping, and I believe that every interaction in our lives happens for a reason. And as we grow and as we get older, it's important that we really take stock of the kinds of interactions that you have in your life and the reasons thereof. Secondly, for me, I think it's really, really important to remember that for every withdrawal that you make in a friendship, you need to put in twice the amount of deposit. So for every time you whine, you moan, you are depressed, etc., and venting, you need to make sure that by the time you leave the other person that you call your friend, you need to make sure you've deposited love in their spirit, you've deposited joy, you've deposited hope. So if friendship is actually rooted in the need to be a part of something and feel accepted, in a world where we've become so free to actually think the way we want, say what we want, dress how we want, and present ourselves the best way or we see fit for ourselves, why the rise? Why the need to want to feel accepted? Is it really even necessary to feel accepted by others before you've accepted yourself? Tell me this. I'll pose a question. When was the last time you actually just got in your car and drove to a restaurant and treated yourself to a 3-course meal without your phone in hand, sat there and just really enjoyed your meal and looked around and just took everything in and enjoyed the company of your own self? When was the last time you sat at home, popped a bottle of wine, and just sat there on your own, without your phone, without any TV, nothing, just you and you alone and your thoughts? When was the last time you grabbed a good book and just really sat in your own company and enjoyed yourself? When was the last time you actually reinforced yourself positively and said positive words and positive things that you've achieved, or just, just an encouragement for yourself? When was the last time you did that? Is it possible that we are constantly running to be a part of something outside of ourselves because we're afraid to actually face ourselves? When was the last time you looked at yourself, like really looked at yourself and really saw yourself? When was the last time you listened to that inner voice without having to listen to what was going on around you? I really think it is time that we practice a little bit more self-love before we can even jump out of ourselves and believe that we are actually able and capable of having and maintaining healthy friendships. Thank you so much for joining me once again. I'm looking forward to your comments. I'm looking forward to your viewpoints, and I'll see you next week Sunday. Cheers. Bye bye.